Alright, what's going on? D-Hawks at D-Hawks TV. Just got back from the Black Panther premiere at the Regal Fan Event. They hooked us up with some exclusive vibranium. My baby mama being a hater because I took her vibranium. Most precious metal in the world. First, I'm going to give you a spoiler-free review. Movie was great. Visual effects were great. On par with Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange. Comic book origin-wise, they did a really good job telling the story of T'Challa becoming king. There's really not much to talk about without giving like spoiler-free review because, I mean, y'all have already seen what everybody else has said. So fuck that. Spoiler alert. 1, N'Jaka beat the shit out of Black Panther. That happens in the comic books, so it's all cool. 2, N'Jaka becoming king. As far as like the Black Panther role, they pretty much kind of stuck to the comics as far as like the tribal traditions. I like that. The Nakia love interest. Really hoping that one day that means we're gonna get to see Malice, maybe even a Misfito storyline. If you're a comic book fan and you've ever read like the Black Panther, like the Christopher Priest storyline, then you'll feel right at home. They stuck to a lot of those origins. Let me not be like an overall fanboy. My dislike, I think we needed more Eric Killmonger. We needed more N'Jaka in the movie. Michael B. Jordan was a badass character, especially as a villain, did a good job as a villain. Another complaint would have to be just the fact that I don't think there was enough Black Panther. Like, I mean, especially as far as like, you know how every movie has its climax where, you know, it's a superhero movie, so you know he has to get defeated at some point in the movie. I feel like that defeat didn't last long enough. But overall, the action, man, there's not a Marvel movie that has action better than this one so far. As far as the casino scene, as far as the jungle scene in the beginning of the movie, railway cart fight that we've seen in the trailers with Eric Killmonger, the battle between, I don't want to give away too much, but the battle between Wakabe's people and the Dora Milaje. That's another thing I like. The Dora Milaje was kicking ass the whole movie. Shuri was funny as hell. I'm glad to see my man from Get Out get to redeem himself, get his black card back. He's out of the sunken place. My man came through. He was a strong character in Wakabi. I still gotta say Wakabi was acting like a bitch ass nigga. If you go see the movie, you're gonna know what I mean. I'm sitting here really trying to think of things I don't like about the movie, and just overall, just as like a person who's, as a director myself, the pacing of the movie was well, being a 2-hour-plus movie. A lot of the visual action sequences, I just love the fast-paced action. I love how they didn't keep it too stagnant on like one character and dulled you down. Like they really showed how the Dora Milaje do their own thing and Black Panther kind of does his own thing. They all got their own styles, but they always fight as one. I like how they changed the background of N'Jaka. I like how they made it more personal for Black Panther. If you're a fan of the comics, you're gonna know that he is a Wakandan, but he's not a Wakandan in the way they make it into the movies. I don't want to reveal too much. It's almost like Black Panther is lost and he's trying to find his way without his dad, and everyone expects him to be his dad, but he doesn't want to be his dad. At the same time he wants to make him proud. So I know there's a lot of people who will be able to relate to that story. Things I wish we would have got to see. I wish we would have got to see Prey. Anybody who knows, that's N'Jaka's pet. The Techno Jungle, they did not show the Techno Jungle. I wish we would have got to see the Crystal City or the Crystal Forest leading up to the Jabari. I feel like they did a good job with M'Baku representing the Jabari. They did a good job with the costume design. I didn't know if I was going to like them not having him in the man-ape costume. I think that was a right call. I think most importantly though, what I loved about this movie was the portrayal of just black people on a larger screen. Not seeing us sell drugs, not seeing us just being pretty much criminals, which is our main genre of movie that you see us starred in, or as a comedian. This was something of royalty. Could tell that they took a lot of influences from African culture and really implemented it into make Wakanda feel real, but at the same time Wakanda was its own place and did look futuristic. If I had any complaints, it might be we didn't get to see more of Wakanda. Like, I want more of Wakanda. Almost completely forgot Ulysses Klaw, greatest bad guy of any Marvel movie, period. I'm putting that down right now. I know he's not the main bad guy of the movie. Dude makes the movie. For the first half of the movie, he's literally the life of the entire party. Every scene he's in, he steals the movie. Alex Ross is just Alex Ross, man. He's pretty much similar to his character in the comics. He's always coming through when you need him. He knows at the end of the day that Black Panther doesn't give a fuck about what America thinks because he's the leader of his own country. He's the leader of Wakanda. I like that they really try to show that Wakanda is its own country and not just some like little city. Like it's its own country, own tribal traditions, own government and diplomatic policies. I love how they got to show the trial to become Black Panther, the trial to become king, because in Wakanda those are two different things if you've ever read the comics. Oh, I'm glad they actually took us to the mystical Panther realm where all the past Black Panthers live forever as Panthers in their version of heaven. I thought that was dope. I think that's really showing that Marvel's like pushing more of like the sci-fi look. We're moving more away from our traditional regular Iron Man that had modern day technology with just a few futuristic enhancements. This is now showing like they're willing to play with a few characters. We'll be able to see a few characters brought back from the dead. You know, there's a few characters who were killed off in this movie that are brought back from life in the comics, and I would like to see that happen. If you stayed all the way to the end and you got to see that teaser, I don't want to say no names or anything like that, but I'm going to just say that there's a White Wolf teaser all the way at the end, and when you see who they portray as the White Wolf, it really kind of sets you up and makes you really think, what are they going to do with the next Black Panther movie or just future in the MCU period. I liked is that they really kept the movie completely separate from any other Marvel characters. There were no constant name drops, or there was no constant mention of past events. I mean, of course they mentioned the past event that happened in Civil War of T'Challa's dad's dying, because that's where the movie leads off from. But other than that, there was no overly name dropping. They really kept it all about T'Challa, you know, Wakanda, Shuri, Okoye. I gotta give a huge shout out to Ryan Coogler, because as a young director myself, that was extreme inspiration going to see that movie, to see all of these big ideas actually pulled off in a 2-hour film on the big screen in the MCU is huge. As just a comic fan, as a director, and just as being black, because I feel like there's not enough of us out there doing that. Unfortunately, they don't lead you with much to go into Infinity War with, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy about it because I didn't want anything to take away from Black Panther, and literally nothing could take away from this movie. Visual effects, CGI was on point. I know in the trailer some of it looked kind of skeptical. I feel like they really touched that up in the post-production. As far as the background on a few different characters, I would have liked them to get more into the background, but once again, you run into timing issues. The acting was amazing by everyone, except for I kind of feel like my man T'Challa. They didn't give him enough scenes to really stand out and really show himself, but at the same time, people who are fans of the comics understand he's an extremely laid-back guy. You know, he's not a very outgoing person, so people who were looking for this new funny character, they got more of it than what you get in the comics. So I kind of like that the MCU had a lighter approach to him. I don't want to give away too much of the movie, but if you do get a chance to see the movie, go see it. I went to go see it in 3D. Great 3D movie. I would say almost half of it had 3D effects. You got to shout out Kendrick Lamar, and then bringing in Kendrick Lamar for that, I feel like that's huge. How often do you ever see a hip-hop artist involved in the MCU? I'm not 100% sure, but did I fucking see Wale dancing in the beginning of the movie as just a regular old Wakandan? Because that was wild. I need somebody to bootleg this movie so I can go back and find that clip. I don't know, man. It's hot as fuck in my house because we making some pizza because we got back late as hell. I'm also holding this dope ass vibranium. You know what I mean? Going to the highest bidder. Starting at 2 mil. Thinking about moving it up to $1 billion by the end of the night. Other than that, man, I go see movies when they drop on the day of release all the time. I'm thinking about starting to give my own reviews, my own takes on more movies. Even some of the old classic movies, just as a director, I get inspired by different types of films. They help me, you know what I mean, visualize and plan out things in my music videos, choose different angles, pacing, things like that. And at the end of the day, I want to get into producing cinema and large production films. So I think this is how I'm going to start relating more to some of my people who follow me, and hope y'all enjoyed my review. Hope I didn't spoil too much of the movie. If you like this review, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you share it. And I don't got nothing else to say, but Wakanda Forever!
Wakanda Forever! You told them like the whole movie.
No, I didn't. I didn't give away anything. I didn't tell him that Ulysses gets killed. I didn't tell him that Ulysses gets killed. I didn't tell him that T'Challa I didn't tell them that the White Wolf. I didn't tell them that Wakanda becomes a traitor. I didn't tell them that battles him for the throne and then ends up being on his side in the end. I didn't reveal any of that stuff. Or did I?